Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Yet another story of another girl being abducted, raped, a community searching for that rapist, and now allegations by the victim's family, by lawmakers who are saying, wait a minute, this is a cover-up. Yes, allegations now of a cover-up in one community that has been suffering, that has been scared. This one is playing out in New York State. This is Albany, and the story sounds all too familiar. Now, and thank you, Harry Mays, who had sent an article to Greg Stocker and to me talking about this issue of femicide, because this is something that we've seen, which is weaponizing violence and suppression, oppression of girls and women. We saw it, as an act of war, really, of terrorism. We saw it October 7th on display against those young Jewish women. But we see it on display in South America, especially. And there are even these things called they call them rape trees. Have you heard of this? And so this is a thing by gang members, especially across South America, where they are oppressing, suppressing girls, young women, and women, where they assault them, take their underwear and hang them in trees, just to remind women and girls that we control you. It's really sick, and you wonder to yourself, my God, why isn't this in the headlines? Why aren't we talking about this more? Where's Me Too? Where's the women's movement? It is nowhere, because this is being politicized, and that is sick. But in this case, I will tell you that this one makes me nauseous as I look at this. 15-year-old girl, innocent girl, she's abducted, and this guy holds her with a weapon to her throat, forces her into the back seat of his vehicle, and rapes her. Now, he's charged with first-degree rape. They caught up with the guy. But now we're finally getting the details of this. And this has to do with this issue of a sanctuary city or a sanctuary state, right? And so now we have Democrats in Albany, New York, denying this. Oh, no, that was never the issue, that, 21-year-old Sakir Akan, who's charged with first-degree rape, sex assault, and all of these other violent felony crimes against this innocent girl, high school-age girl. This happened last month, and the community saying, wait a minute, why didn't we know that? You knew at some point who the suspect was, and that he's a Turkish asylum seeker who crossed the southern border this year in California. What's up with this? So first, I want to take you to the local station. And by the way, Jimmy Kelly, our engineer, and also Sean Serino, who's our producer here, I'll just say to you, I just sent you audio of another grandfather who's making a plea for Joe Biden and Democrats to secure the border in the case of his murdered granddaughter, allegedly at the hands of an illegal. So if you can check your email, I sent you the grandfather who's grieving, and you want to hear from him. And that's next. That's coming up, that audio, if Jimmy and Sean can grab that audio. But let's listen in first. This is a local news station in Albany, New York, I believe the CBS affiliate. So I want you to listen to the report as this is being investigated.
What did he say, Bree? Liz, the Albany police chief countering back, saying the reports have, quote, grossly mischaracterized the situation, asserting that immigration status had absolutely nothing to do with why they didn't send a media release about the case. He adds that it's common practice not to for the victim's sake.
A 21-year-old undocumented migrant is behind bars for allegedly raping a 15-year-old girl in Albany. The case made public not by the Albany Police Department, but by a report from the Times-Union. CBS 6 has gotten a hold of court documents for Sakir Akan, arrested and charged with rape last week. Documents say on May 14th, the victim was in the passenger seat of Akan's car when he forced her into the back and threatened her with violence. Since the initial Times-Union report, local Republican lawmakers have come out scrutinizing Albany police for not making the case public, with Rensselaer County Executive Steve McLaughlin calling it a cover-up. Albany Police Chief Eric Hawkins shutting down the accusations, making it clear the suspect's immigration status was not known until after his arraignment, adding that it's common practice by the department not to release media releases on sexual assault cases to prevent further trauma to the victims. But the director of the Albany County Crime Victim and Sexual Violence Center says releasing this information can be helpful for both the community and victims.
It speaks to the fact that we have work to do as a community to protect all of our residents against sexual assault. It lets the victim know that they're believed, and other victims know that they will be believed if they do come forward.
So in this issue, and I just want to focus on something, and that is the question is Albany, New York, like Philadelphia, like Chester County, like Montgomery County, I believe Lancaster County, by the way, many county, you might not know it, but Chester, Delco, Montgo, Philadelphia counties, all sanctuary. So you have this case of the police chief speaking out saying, oh no, that wasn't a factor, and we didn't even know, we don't release this. I'm going to take you back to January 24th of 2018. Okay, 2018. This was the New York Civil Liberties Union released a statement because at that time in 2018, the then Trump administration and the Trump Department of Justice had threatened New York City, Albany, as well as 21 other sanctuary cities with subpoenas if they did not provide documentation to show whether or not local law enforcement officers were sharing information with ICE, with federal immigration authorities, with these illegals to root out illegals. And so the Trump administration was putting departments like this one, putting their feet to the fire to say, you must release this information to us and have transparency. And at that time, the New York Civil Liberties Union had put out a statement accusing the Trump administration of yet again trying to, and I'm quoting here, bully cities into cooperating with its deportation agenda. And they had said that cities like New York and Albany, well, they're cities of immigrants, and they always will be, okay? So this is a contrast that I want to give to you. And no, I'm not trying to focus on certain crimes committed by certain people. That's not the agenda here. If we had heinous crimes committed against children, particularly children, girls and women, happening across the country, and you say, well, Dawn, would you report that? Would you report on young Jocelyn who, just turned, she's just a kid. She just turned 12. Would you have reported on the kidnapping of a kid? They're looking for this child and then find her tortured for at least 2 hours, stripping her clothes off of her, ravaging her, raping her. Would you have reported on the search for those individuals who did that, then threw her like trash into the river? Would you? Yes, we would be reporting on it, no matter who anybody thought the suspects were. Predators, and then as they look at the surveillance images and you see these guys following her. Predators. So even if these were predators among us as United States citizens born here, yes, we would report on this rash of crimes like this, these predators. Yeah, we would. But there's an uptick in these types of crimes that are in particular quite just the savagery involved. They're heinous crimes where they torture this victim. It's not enough that they're kidnapped. It's not enough that they're raped, but these are particularly savage. They torture these women. They do nasty, horrible things to them, and these women and girls are dying in pain. That's the pattern here. And so when we put it all together now, And we think, oh my gosh, this is happening across the country at the hands of individuals who are coming from countries where this is their thing. This is what they do. This is not something new. It's just that they're bringing the violence that they do in their country, where they have gangs, drugs, human trafficking, all child trafficking, all of this stuff. These are countries where we don't stand for this in the United States of America, okay? And we pump tons of money into doing this, and especially after defund the police, we've all realized, no, we do not tolerate this against anybody, but in particular against our children, little girls and women. But in other countries, this is what the culture is. This is happening. It's real. And it's here now. It's being allowed. And now you have a community traditionally in Albany, New York, places like this, New York City, we have that going on, remember, with an innocent girl. Well, there's so many of them in New York, it's hard to keep track of. One was in the park, another one on her way to school, and they're being grabbed, kidnapped, and horrible things done to them. Some survive, some don't. In Maryland, the mom, young mom, she's grabbed on the trail. We've talked a lot about her. And now we have the case of the little girl in Texas. Her funeral's today. Did you know that? Did you hear that in mainstream media, by the way? Did you hear that it's Jocelyn's funeral today? You know, she should be celebrating the fact that school's out. She's looking forward to going back to middle school. This is Jocelyn Nungary. And grandfather is speaking out. Mom is speaking out and talking about a sweet little girl. So I do want you to hear Grandpa, and he's Kelvin Alvarenga. He's granddad. Also, her mom speaking out. I know they spoke out, and I think the audio that I sent to you, Sean, and Jimmy Kelly, I believe this was Hannity last night. So God bless, Sean Hannity, who is taking the time, his producers, to do a long-form interview with this grieving family, because this is a case where the mainstream media is not focusing on the fact, first of all, grandfather, who is Kelvin Alvarenga. Now, by some reports I'm hearing he's Portuguese, which would be Spain. Some reports I'm hearing he's from South America. That's his ethnicity, South America. But you'll say the larger, Hispanic community, if you will. So this idea that this grieving family is now coping with the fact that once again we're hearing the pattern, the scenario, that these guys come from a country where this is the culture, where these two guys are from Venezuela. They came to this country illegally. They're charged with capital murder in Jocelyn's killing. And these guys now in the Harris County Jail, yes, in Houston, Texas. But the fact that they were arrested earlier this year, they were in the hands of law enforcement in El Paso, Texas, by U.S. Border Patrol. They entered the country without documentation, but catch and release. They were both released under the Biden policies and, given a court date later. One of the guys, I believe, had an ankle bracelet on. We're hearing that more and more. Some of these guys have ankle bracelets, for crying out loud. Some of them accused of lesser crimes. But it's important to hear from a grieving grandfather, Kelvin Alvarenga, who talks about his granddaughter, and they have now made a plea to the Biden administration, a plea to authorities. Please, God, please control the border. Don't let these animals come in to prey upon our children, our little girls, the women in our community, our wives, our daughters. So listen in now as you hear the family, the grieving family. Now today they will bury Jocelyn and have the funeral today, the funeral mass. It makes me sick. So let's listen into this grieving family.
Is also with us tonight. You know,
This is
Calvin,
Hannity, obviously.
Alexis, I wish I had words to provide comfort for you. Your beautiful, precious 12-year-old daughter had to go through this. I can only imagine
2
the pain
hours
you
of
feel.
torture.
I don't know if it's something any human being can ever recover from.
No.
Alexis, you're a mom, and you know, I would ask how you're feeling, but I can imagine horrible.
Yes, it's definitely been something that's been hard to grasp for reality. But now I have to be her voice, and I need to make sure that everybody hears the horrible thing that happened to my daughter and give her justice and make a change, because we don't need to be burying our kids.
I understand. Kelvin,
This is the
you're
grandpa.
her grandfather. What we're describing here is nothing but pure evil. Here is your precious 12-year-old granddaughter, and you learn about the brutality of the attack and the murder, and then you also learn that this little 12-year-old girl fought back hard against these attackers. I don't know many 12-year-old little girls that would be capable of that. Tell us about your granddaughter, the girl you love so much.
What I can tell you is that she's a fighter. She's always been a fighter. She was never a follower. She would always conduct herself to try, being the leader. Very loved. Everywhere she went, she got loved from adults, kids her age, and she was amazing. She was starting to become a teenager, and that's something that was taken from us.
Yeah, I totally
It's just
understand.
sickening to
Sure,
imagine
happened
this,
to
and
her.
my heart aches for this family. I don't know how you cope with something like this. So the funeral is today. Family and friends are gathering for Jocelyn and Gary's funeral service in North Houston, and that's followed by a celebration of life that's going to be held actually at a local furniture store. A Houston businessman, by the name of Jim McInvale, is paying for her funeral and for her celebration of life. And this is a community that's coming together and learning about this together, about a little girl who was taken from this family, from this community, and how these guys just tortured, how she fought. She fought against them. She fought for her life as they were ripping off her clothes, torturing her, tying her up, and then murdering her after 2 hours of torture, and then just threw her body like garbage into the bayou. That's according to, as I read the criminal report written up by the prosecutors. So we all need to get it together in this country and think about a president who, in my opinion, the hands of little Jocelyn and the girl whose name we don't know because she's a rape victim, she survived, the 15-year-old in Albany, New York, the other girls in New York City who, thank God, survived, 13 years young, and the mommy in Maryland whose children will not grow up with her. You think about all of these victims, but then I have to wonder, well, if these so-called sanctuary cities are not even telling us that they are aware that the perpetrators or alleged perpetrators are illegals, how many more out there are there? And by the way, why not warn certain communities where these individuals may be hiding? So this is not acceptable, but this is another reason that in 2018, the Trump DOJ understood this all and was ordering these so-called sanctuary cities across America, including ours, to start reporting these individuals, dangerous individuals that are living amongst us. And they don't even report it, you see, or release the information as to who is a non-citizen. We need to demand this. Demand it of our local police departments, our local DA, Larry Krasner, and say, well, how many of these individuals that you have in custody are non-citizens? We need to know this. How many of them did you process in the past and you let them go? We deserve to know. We deserve justice. And all of these victims, their blood is on the hands of local officials who went along with this, colluded along with this. But the buck stops with Joe Biden and his policies, putting us all in danger. I'm Dawn Stensland, 855-839-1210, the number to call. We'll take a quick break, take your thoughts, and we have a great guest. We'll switch gears at 10:30 on a lighter note, but I want to hear your thoughts on this. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Tired of your old kitchen or bathroom? Then you need to give Kitchen Magic a call. They offer no shortage of solutions for any room in your home. With a new vanity and a tub shower conversion, you'll love that new bathroom. Plus an industry-leading warranty, a 10-year recipient of Lehigh Valley's top workplaces. Right now, they're offering 12 months of no payments, no interest financing with 10% off your remodel. Get your free in-home consultation today at kitchenmagic.com. That's kitchenmagic.com.
I want to tell you about my friend, my dentist, and the master of dental implants, Dr. Mike Veneria at Veneria Dental. If you're getting ready for a special event, don't forget your smile, because it's going to be in all the pictures. Get your smile special occasion ready by making an appointment with Dr. Mike today. I've been telling you about Dr. Mike for years. My entire family goes to Dr. Veneria because the level of care and commitment to dental excellence that Dr. Mike and his staff delivers to every patient is unmatched. He's been delivering results that surpass expectations, and that has made him a top dentist in New Jersey for 10 consecutive years. So if you've been on the fence about getting that dental procedure done, give Dr. Veneria a call. I promise you won't be disappointed. With 2 locations to serve you in Cinnaminson and Woodbury, schedule your free implant consultation today for your perfect smile. Call 856-786-2020 or visit veneriadental.com.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. The summer is heating up, and so are the savings at United Tire and Service. They take care of all makes and models, and right now you'll get the best pricing for your summer road trips on all their major tire brands. If your AC isn't cutting it, they can help there too. From new tires to state inspections, their highly skilled technicians handle it all. Now through June 30th, get the best tire pricing anywhere. Plus, get all the manufacturer rebates. Find the location nearest you at UnitedTire.com. UnitedTire.com. Remember, don't drive alone. Drive United.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Using credit cards could soon become a hassle in Pennsylvania. Some in the legislature are considering a multi-million-dollar giveaway to corporate megastores and may force you to pay for parts of your purchase in cash, while small businesses will have to manage an accounting nightmare. This mandate could also expose information about the private purchases you make. Prevent credit card chaos at guardyourcard.com/Pennsylvania. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Did you know you can stream Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app? Just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio to hear the voices you trust. Brian Kilmeade.
Why are we so scared of Iran thinking that we're at war with them?
Guy Benson.
Get the bleep out of here. It's disgusting.
Jimmy Fallon.
Then this administration rolled into town with a checkbook.
Are all on the free Odyssey app. From the news and talk to keep you informed and up to date during election season. Listen to Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
My name is Taylor, and this is my second year at Insight PA Summer Charter School. Insight PA is more than just high school. Insight also specializes in career readiness to help me choose a pathway for the future. Whether it's business, nursing, technology, or even esports, Insight PA has the hands-on training and internship opportunities to help me choose the right career. The students and staff are amazing, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this community.
To learn how Insight PA Cyber Charter can set your child up for the future, visit InsightPASchool.org.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? What? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
So we're talking about accusations of a cover-up by Democrats who, one community says, knew that there was this illegal asylum seeker from Turkey crossed the border in California earlier this year and is accused in the abduction and rape of yet another 15-year-old girl. And this one, she survived. But now we're hearing a community backlash. And I suspect, we will hear more of this in the headlines as community members say, wait a minute, how long have you known that this guy was an illegal guy from Turkey, an asylum seeker? How long have you known this? And yes, it is an issue. Yes, it matters. So calls for more transparency. 855-839-1210 as we watch for more SCOTUS, Supreme Court settlement or decisions as they've been deliberating. We're watching for that. So far, we do not have the J6 or immunity claims. Those rulings are not coming out just yet. But let me take your calls, 855-839-1210. Let's go to Don in Franconia. Hey, Don.
Hey, good morning, Dawn. How you doing today?
Good. Thanks for calling.
It's my pleasure as usual.
Uh-huh.
I want to take everybody back to the 1950s. There was a town next to where I lived called Leominster. I'm sure nobody listening probably ever heard of it. Well, anyway, what happened was there was a gang of kids. They ranged in age from like 13 to 19. There was about a dozen of them. There was a couple of black kids. Most of the kids were white. And they came across this girl that used to go to the church I went to from a very prominent family in town. Now, the town at that time had a population of about 50,000 people, so it wasn't some real Hicksville town. And they raped the girl and went through all the stuff you just alluded to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as kids are, they couldn't keep their mouths shut, so they all got arrested the next day, and they were in the local police department. 7,000, and that's no exaggeration, townspeople attacked the police department, overpowered the local police there, took all 12 of these kids, and across the street from the police department, there was a town square that had trees. Every one of them had a noose around their neck. Every one of them. 7,000 normal people. Do you think that would happen today? I'm not saying it's right, but that's the attitude difference that you're alluding to.
Right.
Back then, people took these things as, well, you don't do things like that. Today, they just shrug it off.
Well, and to your point, and at that time, any kind of ethnicity of the perpetrator, that was not the issue. The issue was outrage over the fact that they thought they could do this to a girl. That's what right? Yeah. That's what I'm inferring from you. So that race was not this issue because I think at that time, it wasn't about politics. So rape was not politicized. And now what we're seeing is, it is, and that's wrong. We should all feel outraged by a policy that puts rapists and predators and violent people from other countries at our doorstep. You know what I mean? This is what is insane to me. So, Don, thank you. I appreciate you, and I agree with you completely. But thanks for the example of that. Frank in South Philadelphia, hello, my friend.
Hey, Dawn. Good morning. How we doing today?
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno to you and the crew there.
Thank you.
Dawn, I'd like to first of all, I'd like to give my condolences to all the families that lost their loved ones, and that includes the last one I was watching last night. It just turned my stomach upside down when I seen the mother sobbing like that and the grandfather.
Oh,
it turned my stomach upside down. And here's the thing, Dawn. I want to give my condolences to them and all the ones that lost their loved ones in this situation that we have down at the border.
Yeah.
And let me express one thing, Dawn. I've been out in the streets for the last 60 years. Out here, and understanding a few things. These aren't the same type of animals that were here in the 50s, 60s. Not animals back then. They wasn't animals. They look after neighborhoods. These are animals that'll do anything, and the cartels are planting seeds, whether it's in jail, whether it's out here in the streets. They brutalize these 12-year-old kids they're innocent. And it's a different animal of today. They come from different parts of the country, different parts of the world, Turkey, down in South America. They have nothing, and they have nothing to lose if they get 25 years in prison. I'm going to follow up.
Yep.
In the call prior to me, that back then they hung them on the trees. But here's the thing: you got to eliminate these people that come here and brutalize these 12-year-old kids and stuff like that. You got to eliminate them by either putting them in an electric chair, and don't give them life imprisonment because
well, Frank, I appreciate you. I really do. I have another guest, and we're on a tough time schedule here, but I just appreciate your condolences and your thoughts and just your heart is so good. So do we have to take a quick break? Okay. Yes, real quick break. We have a great guest, and we're going to honor a veteran who became America's first hockey star. You want to hear this. Such a great story. Stay right there.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation provides mortgage-free homes to the families of veterans, first responders, and fallen police officers, such as Sergeant Chris Fitzgerald, who never came home to his wife, Marissa.
I am Marissa Fitzgerald. Christopher wanted us to move out of the city and into a safer neighborhood because he wanted the best life he could provide for me and the kids. I know that he still walks in this new house with us and the kids, and he's enjoying every little bit of it too. He'd be proud of that house.
Frank Silla, Chairman and CEO of the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. When somebody serves, the whole family serves, and we're making a promise to every one of these families. We're going to make sure that we deliver them a mortgage-free home, crash-proof retirement, donated $400,000. So everybody that is involved with crash-proof retirement, I can't thank you enough. Please continue to support us because we need you, but more importantly, these families need you.
To join Crash Proof Retirement in supporting our heroes, visit crashproofretirement.com/charity.
You've had nugs dipped in sauce, but have you ever had nugs covered in sauce? Enter Wendy's new Saucy Nugs. 7 saucy ways to enjoy the nugs you love, with flavors from buffalo to honey barbecue, garlic parm to spicy ghost pepper. No matter what flavor you're craving, Wendy's has you covered. With nugs covered in sauce. For a whole new way to nug, try Wendy's new Saucy Nugs today. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Need new furniture? You need Bucks County Estate Traders 4th of July sale. This Saturday through July 6th, everything store-wide is 20% off. Select patio and garden furniture 75% off. High-end, name brand and vintage, mid-century, antique European and American furniture, more than 10,000 items in stock. Bucks County Estate Traders has it all. Save big June 29th through July 6th at their showroom in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
Yo, Roy is Ford. We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
Throughout the game, Hobie Baker was everywhere, and almost every time he shot the puck at the opposing net, it reached the mark.
If one game can get you into the Hockey Hall of Fame, this was it.
In the years just before World War I, Hobie Baker starred for Princeton University in hockey and football and remains the only athlete in both the College Football and Hockey Hall of Fames.
They had no numbers on their jerseys, and he never wore a helmet. So he was recognizable not only by his speed, but by his blonde hair.
You couldn't ignore him, this kind of blonde Adonis.
And this contributed, of course, I think, to the legend of Hobie Baker.
As famous as he was in his day, he is little remembered now, except for the fact
and now
that
we
the
remember
award
him,
for the best
Hobie
men's
Baker, of course, locally Princeton University superstar And I'm delighted to be joined by executive producer and author Andrew Reynolds this morning to talk about the legend of Hobie Baker and the debut, really. Congratulations. ESPN's 30 for 30 introduces this new podcast about America's first ice hockey superstar. So it's great to have you here, Andrew. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate it.
Yes. So can you tell us about the podcast? And I love these kind of stories because this is somebody who was, at the time, a celebrated, pilot during World War I and a fighter pilot. And, we can talk about, what happened there, but somebody whose legend, maybe people listening right now might not know too much about him.
Right, precisely. I agree with you. This is one of those hidden figure stories. We have a two-dimensional version of Hobie Baker, at least if you're a hockey fan or a football fan, but you don't really necessarily know the details of his life, the layers behind that sort of celebrity. He was, in the pre-war period, the biggest American athlete star, front-page news. He was like Michael Jordan and Tom Brady and sort of Ted Williams all rolled into one. Everybody came just to watch him play. And he was an iconic football player, but he was an even greater hockey player. And that's why today the best collegiate hockey player in America gets the Hobie Baker Award. Yes. It's like the Heisman of hockey. But outside of that, I don't think a lot of Americans in the world really understand how great and decent and important this man was, because we lost him over 120 years ago.
And then you talk about, you go into the fact that as World War I, drags on, and now this superstar, in his local community and in the nation, an athletic star, now he has to learn how to fly and fight for his country. Can you take us through, because you get into that as well?
Yeah, the thing that I was struck by was that Hobie always loved flying. From being a young boy, he loved to fly on the ice. He loved to fly on the football field. He didn't wear a helmet. His blonde locks were trailing behind him. He loved to sort of just be at speed and almost in that zone where he's playing sports and he's flying. And so, of course, it becomes a natural thing that by 1916, when he's left college, he's working in, for J.P. Morgan in Wall Street. He wants to get out there and really fly, so he learns how to fly with some of his friends, and it's a very small cohort of Americans that are learning how to fly. And then he's just desperately waiting to get into the war. He wants to be in the First World War, but of course his mentor, his president of Princeton, who becomes the president of the U.S., Woodrow Wilson, is keeping America out of the war. So he waits until 1917 when finally America joins the war, and he's one of those first pilots into France and taking to the skies in the battle over the trenches. And so, and then ultimately, and I know he has been honored as a war hero and war veteran, because then he, that's in 1918, he tragically dies as a serving our country. Right? Yeah, it's one of the really sad and sort of a story full of pathos. He goes all the way through the 1918 war period on the front lines. Life expectancy for a pilot in this war was about 23, 25 days. It was incredibly dangerous. But he goes all the way through. He's credited with 3 planes, German planes, that he shoots down. He's revered by his men. He's the squadron commander. He's revered to be a very great pilot. On December 21st, 1918, 3 weeks after the war has ended, he is given his discharge papers to return to America. And he goes to the headquarters and he sees his commanding officer and he says, "I don't want to go home. I'm not going to leave without my men." And the commanding officer says, "Well, you have to go home. You've been here longer than almost anybody else." And so he goes to the field, gets out his plane, and he says, "I'm going to take one last flight." Oh. And of course, you never take one last flight. Yeah. And the podcast goes into that fateful day and what happened. And he does, plot spoiler, crash. And unfortunately, after surviving many crashes, he dies. And he's carried from the plane by his Princeton professor, who was there on the field with him, and the first American pilot trained by the Wright brothers, Frank Clam. Those are the two people that pull him out of the plane. And he passes away in their arms. And it is massive news in America. Back home, the famous war hero, the famous sports star Hobie Baker is dead. And there's a memorial service to him at Trinity Church in Princeton that everybody attends. All the great and the good of American society, the Gilded Age, attend. And it's almost like Lawrence of Arabia. It's our great war hero who was our shining golden boy has passed away.
Oh. And, you know, his place of burial, he's buried not so far from where I'm broadcasting here in Philadelphia, Laurel Hill West, which is located on the main line of Philadelphia, which is Bala Cynwyd, Pennsylvania, which I know all my listeners are very familiar with. And so for us locally, so proud that you're honoring him so beautifully. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I know that you're very limited in your time, and we just really appreciate you coming on. And I really look forward to watching this wonderful podcast and, you know, hearing more, listening and hearing more about ESPN's, 30 for 30, honoring his life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dawn. I really appreciate the conversation.
Executive producer and author Andrew Reynolds. By all accounts, this is just a beautiful piece as we learn more about the first ice hockey star, narrated, I should mention, by David Duchovny. I don't know if you recognized his voice, but somebody who's a local hero to so many of you may remember the name and hearing the name, but somebody who maybe the nation and the world will know more about. This is The Dawn Show. We'll take a quick break. Take your calls, 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Hey, it's Nick Kale. Join me again on the first Wednesday of the month for WPHT's Veteran Spotlight. It's a program where we shine a spotlight on one outstanding local veteran in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation, celebrating their remarkable commitment to community service and their exceptional service in the military. This Wednesday, July 3rd, we honor retired Marine Corps veteran Colonel Tom Manion for his service and contributions to the veteran community. Presented by Window Nation. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com.
Have you questioned your doctor about symptoms like low energy, digestive issues, brain fog, joint pain, just not feeling right, just something is off, and you're only left settling for unanswered questions, or worse, being told it's just because you're getting older? You don't have to settle for unanswered questions any longer. With Younger Me MD's exclusive VIP membership program, aging doesn't have to make you feel older. Their proven 3-step process and functional medicine approach helps you discover the underlying causes of your issues. As a member, you get access to high-level personalized treatment plans, as well as discounts on treatments and supplements. If you're ready to live the life you deserve, it's time to learn about Younger Me MD's VIP membership program. Call 445-266-4024. 445-266-4024. That's 445-266-4024. And schedule your consultation with Younger Me, MD.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-688-6641.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Paid for by government. Did you hear? A secret hoard of 1904 $20 Gold Liberty coins have been found. These gorgeous 1904p gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck, and less than 500 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this secret U.S. gold coin discovery a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and you can own a piece of the hoard. When you call, you are guaranteed a 1904 Gold Liberty struck at the iconic Philadelphia Mint. With limited availability, you must call now. These 1904 dated gold coins are still in uncirculated condition with brilliant luster. That is 120 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-973-3077. Call now and you'll receive a free bonus, a $75 value free with every order. Call 1-800-973-3077 now to secure your 1904p $20 Gold Liberty coins before they sell out. That's 1-800-973-3077.
Talk Radio 1210. WPHT. Free speech lives here.
You know, I was just looking through some of the stories locally about Hobie Baker and reaction, and in Bala Cynwyd and Philadelphia. There's so many publications that remember him. And I'll just remind you that for Princeton University, their hockey team, even though he was a fantastic football player as well, but their hockey team, they sit beneath a mural that reads, "Make Hobie Proud." And there's the Hobie Baker Memorial Rink. And this is a Mainline Today article that I pulled up about him. But just thinking about a different time and a different era when, and as you heard Andrew, the executive producer of that great piece coming out, where this was somebody who was from the Mainline. I mean, his family, these were wealthy individuals, and he had such a pride in serving his country. Couldn't wait to get over there and fight and represent the USA. And split his childhood, so they had multiple homes. So he was in the Wissahickon, and then they had a home in Bala Cynwyd. And the parents, that's who I was looking up here. But his mom, I think, was from the Pemberton family. So that, dad was Baker, mom was Pemberton. Very famous, obviously famous Philadelphia family that goes way back in the day. So I just wanted to mention that to you. I didn't know if you had any thoughts on it. 855-839-1210. Just wanted to take you back, if you will, to a different time, the era of, World War I, when patriotism was alive, and when in our country, all Americans, just appreciated those who protect and serve, whether that means in law enforcement or whether certainly that means those who protect and serve, and in this case, make the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. I'm Dawn Stensland, 855-839-1210, the number to call. We do have at least one SCOTUS ruling, and I know my friend Rich Cioli is thrilled to see this one. Do you remember, taking you back a few years, when Rich actually was a spokesperson initially when this new series was coming out, a new streaming series called Dope Sick? Do you remember this? And Zioli was helping to promote it. They had chosen him nationally as one of the people they wanted, Rich Cioli, to talk about Dope Sick, and that you need to watch this. So we all watched it, and many of us watched it together, gripping. Michael Keaton stars in it, if you haven't seen it. It focused on a true story of a Pennsylvania doctor who served many Pennsylvanians as their physician as they were suffering in coal country of Pennsylvania. And we learned a whole lot about the Sackler family, Purdue Pharma, the family that really owned and ran Purdue Pharma. And if you believe Dope Sick and that tragic story of how all of these people were lied to, the doctor was even lied to, and how they schemed, allegedly, how they schemed to trick everybody, that this was a medication that they said, oh, this wonderful medication that you could never become addicted to, and it's going to take away your pain. And if you haven't seen Dope Sick, I know many of you had, and it was because Zioli, because he was chosen as a national spokesperson, actually. Today, just now, within the past 48 minutes, the Supreme Court has come out minutes ago and has rejected a deal that was cut between the Sackler family. The Supreme Court now has said no. They've derailed a multi-billion-dollar bankruptcy plan for Purdue Pharma. This is the maker of OxyContin. We all know the name. And in this one, this is a victory for the families of those who've died in what we now know is known as the opioid epidemic. But this family is blamed with kicking off and setting off the opioid or supersizing the opioid epidemic. The Sackler family, very wealthy, billionaire family, because in the deal that was cut, the Sackler family would then be protected from any kind of civil lawsuits related to their role in the opioid epidemic. And if you watched Dopesick or the other shows that have now been made about this, if you believe what they're saying, in fact, the Sackler family, according to them, and according to the family members and according to prosecutors, was right there, was behind it, was complicit, and pushed for things that would promote that people would believe that, oh no, you can't be addicted, and this is a miracle drug that's going to take your horrible pain away. This is a tough opinion because it's a split. It's a 5-4 opinion. Justice Neil Gorsuch authored it, and they're holding that the bankruptcy code does not authorize a shield, a legal shield, as part of a bankruptcy reorganization plan. So here's what Justice Neil Gorsuch writes. He says, someday Congress may choose to add to the bankruptcy code special rules for opioid-related bankruptcies, as it has for things like asbestos-related cases, or it may choose not to do so. Either way, if a policy decision like this is to be made, it is for Congress to make. This is what Gorsuch wrote. Despite the misimpression left by today's dissent, our only proper task is to interpret and to apply the law as we find it, and nothing in present law authorizes the Sackler discharge. So to me, what I see here, honestly, is that I think the court recognizes that Congress should absolutely deal with this. But because they have failed to do this, as of right now, the decision from the Supreme Court in the case is known as Harrington v. Purdue Pharma. It really puts the kibosh, those are my words, obviously, but it puts the kibosh on the deal that was negotiated with state and local governments and the victims of the opioid epidemic, which included a commitment from the Sackler family to contribute up to $6 billion for abatement of the opioid crisis in exchange for this shield. The agreement also included $750 million to provide compensation to the victims. As I recall in all of this, and here's where it gets political, as I recall, then Attorney General Josh Shapiro, who's now our governor, had just wanted to go ahead and just cut the deal so that at the end of the day, people could just get their money, and we could try to deal with the epidemic and the fallout from it, because think of Kensington, think of all the suffering. So Josh Shapiro, as Attorney General, he had said, no, we should move forward with some kind of settlement, just get it done. And all of these different attorney generals helped sign off on the deal. I will point out that his fellow Democrat, DA Larry Krasner, was against this. So in other words, and here's where I'm going to look at this, a lot of people, and that's why you see this 5-4 opinion here, but there were a lot of people who thought this was wrong. I think the Biden administration, and so I know I'm talking about R's and D's here, but there are a ton of Republicans who agree with, on this one, Democrat Larry Krasner, who actually believe that the court on this day did the right thing. There are many people who believe that the Sackler family should not get off easy with a shield. That the victims' families have said that the Sackler family should not be allowed, even though they've lost billions, that they are still allowed to be billionaires because they're so incredibly wealthy. Guess what? They still get to be billionaires. They still get to live in luxury. They still get to live in their mansions and live a billionaire life. You see what I'm saying? There are many people who believe, no, this family should be allowed to face their own kind of justice in civil courts and over and over and over and over. It should be allowed by the courts that they should be dragged through the courts until they are penniless. And they should be made accountable in every court, even the civil courts. That's what the victims' families have said through this. And so many people out there, and maybe you're one of them, feel that this is the right thing and that this should not be made political. You see what I'm saying? So I wonder if you have an opinion about it. I remember when, and Kathy Barnett is going to join us, tomorrow for some post-debate stuff, but Kathy helped with, when she was with the Vivek Ramaswamy campaign. Remember, I had attended and actually spoken at one of the events where I met Vivek and where Kathy was orchestrating that, and that was with opioid victims' parents were speaking out about this. And there were a couple moms there that Vivek and Kathy Barnett, who I know you know well, were advocating for for new laws and different laws, that sort of thing. But they had lost sons in the opioid epidemic. So I'll be curious to get Kathy Barnett's take on this, because I think much like in so many of these different cases, it is right to not politicize it. And that's why I mentioned that, we have our governor, Josh Shapiro, a Democrat. He had said, hey, we need to just stop and just negotiate this. Okay, and allow the Sacklers to be shielded because we want to get to the money. Krasner had said Krasner on the side of the court today. You see what I'm saying? A lot of Republicans split over the situation. But in this one, the Sackler family, they owned and operated Purdue during the height of the opioid epidemic, and they are accused of fueling the opioid epidemic. So I'll be curious to hear your take, 855-839-1210, and we'll look forward to, I'm just going to tease, Kathy Barnett will be here right in the early 10 a.m. hour to react to the POTUS debate that's tonight. We have so much to talk about. 855-839-1210. I'm going to switch gears here. I will take your calls if you want to call about this one, but we have other breaking news. Dawn Show returns right after this.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have absolutely incredible offers and a plethora of both new and certified Volvos from which to choose. We are eager to offer amazingly competitive prices, plus an additional $1,000 Costco discount on all new Cherry Hill Volvos. When leasing or purchasing a new or certified Cherry Hill Volvo, you become a valued part of our team. Join Cherry Hill Volvo for the pricing and attention you deserve. I am Judith Krupnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo.
This is Jordan Lundy of Lundy Law. When we say we hope you're never involved in an accident, we mean it. But if you are injured in an accident, we'll work quickly and tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. And when we also say we only get paid when your case is over and you get paid, we mean it. Remember our name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit LundyLaw.com.
When you look at your kids or grandkids, you can't help but wonder. You wonder what their world will be like in 20 years. Then you think about yourself. What will your life be like when you step away from work and into retirement? There are a lot of things you can't control, but with the right planning, there are some things you can. At Spectrum Wealth Partners, our Portfolio X-Ray is designed to show you how you're doing so far and what your monthly income will look like in the future. In other words, they can take you from wondering to knowing. So take control of your financial future. Call today for a complimentary evaluation. 856-322-8686 or at SpectrumWP.com. And tune into The Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen, Saturdays at 3 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
Ad paid for by AG Marketing Group. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-866-7061. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-866-7061. The call is free. The consultation is free. Call 800-866-7061. That's 800-866-7061. Again, 800-866-7061.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
The breaking news of the moment is a 15-year-old boy shot in his back. This is North Philadelphia. He's in stable condition as I speak. Unknown suspect, unknown motive. Was it gangs? Was it drugs? Was it related? Or did they think he was somebody else? Was this robbery? We don't know. We don't know. We never know, do we? We never hear the follow-up. It's so frustrating. But a 15-year-old hospitalized right now, stable condition. We had another teenager in the Northeast, by the way. He was shot down, the target. And in that one that happened last night in the North, it was like 9 o'clock at night. That one, the 18-year-old was basically executed on a city street in the Northeast. But the shooters, there were two shooters in that one, just spraying bullets everywhere. An innocent bystander, a 67-year-old man, was struck. He's hospitalized in stable condition. We hear this all too often when we think about all the shootings. And yet, locally, nationally, all we hear about, whether you look at the Surgeon General talking about blaming the guns. It's the gun. We need to label the gun because it's the gun violence and never addressing the causes. What is going on in our communities? What is supersizing this level of violence? Just bullet holes everywhere. It's crazy. On a positive side, I will tell you, breaking right now, we have Mayor Sherelle Parker. And she's making this a major announcement about these about 20 schools that are going to go year-round. It's a pilot program. But I will remind you that, because she was our representative in the Chestnut Hill section of Philadelphia, when she was first running for mayor, I had turned to Anthony Dorenzo and I'd said, it's Sherelle Parker, I'm telling you. I said it on the air if you remember it. And everybody else was talking about Alan Dom, even at this station. They were focusing on everybody else. It was Sherelle Parker. It was always her. And I'm glad it's her. If you're to choose between all of the candidates, and yes, even the one Republican who was, in my opinion, was just kind of lame, even when talking about stop and frisk. To me, she was actually somebody who held everybody accountable more than any other candidate in the entire field. She also talked about year-round schools. She's been talking about it a long time. And again, people across the city said, oh, it's never going to happen, even at the station. And I said, oh, yes, it will, because this is the answer. Do you remember this? I said this as far back as when we were still on afternoons in the Zioli show. And I said, yes, year-round schools, it will happen. And it gives flexibility to everybody. There are so many advantages to year-round schools. You know why? Because let's say then you do it like colleges. So let's say you want to take off winter break, because let's say you're going to go stay with grandma and grandpa during a certain period in Virginia and get the heck out, or choose your season of when you want to go to the year-round schools. It gives you incredible flexibility. So think of it as 4 quarters. Now, teachers, if you want to work all 4 quarters, you get paid more. But let's say you as a teacher, you don't want to work the fall quarter. I just think this is fantastic. It gives educators, families, students so much flexibility. It allows as well teachers who want to earn more, or they want the flexibility. Let's say they do something on an off season. Let's say they make money as a coach or something like that. It gives such flexibility to everybody on so many different levels. Takes care of all those childcare questions, does it not? But it also allows for students and parents to have advanced learning. Let's say there are classes or schools that you want to take on an accelerated basis. We need more flexibility in education. And this is the answer. Sherelle Parker, she's a mom of a middle school age kid. She gets it. Good for her. She's making that announcement. Maybe we'll get some of that audio for you. I know Sean and Jimmy are monitoring when she has her news conference, when she talks about it. I hear a lot. I hear nothing but, as far as from the community, from families and parents, I hear nothing but positives about this. It's a pilot program. I hope to God it works and it's successful, but I think it will be welcomed in. And I think a lot of parents are going to say, when are more schools going to go year round? I think it's a wonderful thing. Good for her. Your take, 855-839-1210 is the number to call. The individuals who, and I just want to say this, the individuals notice who are against things like Lifeline scholarships for the poorest performing and poorest students. The individuals who are against things like year-round schools. Have you noticed the pattern? Not teachers, because I think teachers will be for this kind of a thing because of what I said earlier, the flexibility. But the individuals, 855-839-1210. Who's against it, Dawn? Who's against it? Ding, ding, ding. Union officials. They're against it. That's who's against it. I think that, moving forward, when we look at the priorities of parents and the priorities of teachers, do you ever notice nobody really asks everyday educators what they're hoping for, what they would like, how we can lure more educators into the city of Philadelphia? Because we have a hiring crisis. We're down across Pennsylvania and across the nation. We're seeing this. It's an educator crisis, but in particular cities like Philadelphia. And we see more violence against teachers too. So where are the real teacher advocates? I think we're going to see more of this, and we want to get into it. 839-1210 is the number to call. Do we have Sherelle Parker yet? When we have that audio, I do want to hear more on it. I certainly know Dom Giordano, who is, as you know, Dom began his career as a dedicated teacher, as an educator. And so he has a unique perspective as somebody who loves teaching, who loves education, who celebrates education, and also he and Ro obviously are parents, and he's a dad. But, you think about the time when we celebrated our teachers, when we as parents revered our teachers. This is another pattern that we see that I think we have to track. There was a time when we respected law enforcement. There was a time when we respected and revered our teachers and educators and loved them and, brought them the teacher gift. And we couldn't wait, to say, well, I can't wait to see when Mrs. So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so, when they, over summer break, with the kids. I bet you can't wait to tell them what book you read. Or, they're going to love to hear, what you saw during your summer break. Remember those days? And so at what point were kids allowed to just disrespect their teachers? It really comes down to respect and losing that respect and losing that sense of community. And who's at fault for that? How did this happen? Why are we at this point? And I know oftentimes, in this audience, maybe we want to blame the Democrats. But I think we have to look at us. What have we done wrong? And the breakdown of the family. This is all important. And I think it's important to have the conversation. 855-839-1210. Can I go to Big Al, Mullica Hill? Hello again, Big Al.
Hello, Dawn. How you doing today?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I'm calling because I was watching TV this morning, and they were questioning Mayorkas, and they said about the administration being held responsible for all these people being killed by the illegals.
Yes.
And his response was, it's not the administration, it's the actual people who do these heinous crimes. It's the fault of the people that do these crimes. Well, why doesn't that apply when someone gets shot with a gun? Why is it always the gun's fault?
Yes. Oh, that's a great point that you make. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, do you see how everything turns to whatever their agenda is?
Mm-hmm.
And when he's made that statement, I would play that all the time because when they want to fight the guns, it's not the person who pulls the trigger; it's the gun. No,
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's the person. And here
Yeah.
it's just it makes me sick when I see all this double talk and how they reverse everything and just go Donald Trump tonight, man. I hope he does well.
Hey, can I ask you something real quick, Al? Real quick. What do you hope to see as far as the demeanor? We can't control the questions, and after all, it is CNN. But what do you hope, no matter what they throw at him, because it's CNN, what do you hope to see from Donald Trump?
I hope that he stays on focus with the issues, from the $1.87 a gallon of gas when he was in to what it is now. The economy, on how much the food prices are going up, with the inflation, and please press on that border because of all these people being killed, the fentanyl coming into our country. As long as he stays focused on that, they're going to try to get under his skin because that's the game that they play.
Yes.
They're just going to, and I know Biden's probably going to have softballs sent to him, and but they're just going to try to get to him. And I just hope that Donald Trump will act the presidential I mean, he agreed to everything, even though it's all one-sided. It's just it's sickening. And did you know that the girl that's interviewing, running the narration tonight, her husband was one of the 51 people that signed that thing about Hunter's laptop being a fake?
Yeah, Dana Bash. We did talk about that before. I think yesterday maybe it was on Kale and Company. I forget, but yeah, I mean that's a whole piece of it. She should recuse herself. To your point, Al, she should recuse herself because of right.
So should Jake Tapper with the calling him Hitler.
Yeah. Well, I played that clip because Larry. I have to give my husband credit. He tweeted it out. Was that yesterday or day before? And it was a flashback from when Jake, and I'm sure we could put together a whole montage of things that he said to just show his hand. But I hope, to your point, that they ask one question, that they'll ask one question and say, now we're going to give both of you a chance to answer it. So I hope that they don't have different.
They're not going to do that, Dawn. They're not going to do that. It's going to be so one-sided. But also, I want to add one thing. I don't know if you saw that the Randall Cobb, a former football player, his house burnt to the ground because of his Tesla that was plugged in his garage.
Yeah, this is weird with all these batteries. Remember when we had some phone batteries that were causing, right? Wasn't it phone batteries at one point?
Yes.
That were causing the fires, and you could not take them on an airplane unless it was shut off. And now we're hearing this about different batteries. And I wonder, then think about this with all of the, remember I reported the school bus, the EV, this is Kamala Harris's thing, the electric buses and the billions of dollars. God forbid, but you think about this. See, this is the untested market of these EV school buses, and God forbid those batteries have an issue.
And Kamala Harris saying, we need the buses because we have to get where we got to go. She's such an intelligent. I mean, and this is what's running our country. Well, Obama's running our country, but it's such a joke. And America, oh boy, we're in trouble.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we're not. I mean, hopefully some of this does resonate. Al, thank you for the call. I always appreciate.
God bless you. God bless you. Thank you.
And you're just the best. And I just love our community that we had. Frank earlier and Al and just everybody. Joe often calling in. So many of you. Joanne, you calling in and just with some of your wisdom, and Anne Marie, I love it. And that's the piece of it, even though I think many of us will agree when Trump says things like you just mentioned, that, saying some of his talking points that we know. I hope that he pulls back a little on some of those statements that Trump will often make, because we know it. The supporters know it. That, for example, the influence of Obama and the Obama administration. I hope that what he focuses is on, not necessarily on, Biden and what we know about that and those failures, but by talking about his record, his past policies, the success of them, but moving forward, what he is going to do. And I hope the one thing that Trump says as well is Lakin's name. I hope at one point Trump says, hey, no matter what happens in November, I hope we can all agree that none of us should politicize the murders of Laken Riley or little 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungary, that these girls deserve justice, and we all should agree that we should have policies that should always prevent violent predators like the ones that were allowed to come here and murder these innocent victims. And in fact, they had no idea these predators were amongst us. And you see, I mean, that's the thing with Jocelyn Nungary. You see these guys stalking her in the background of these surveillance images, and it gives you chill bumps because the policy should have prevented them from ever coming here in the first place. I hope Trump finds a way to just say that in a heartfelt, beautiful way to honor their lives and their names. Say their names, but also name the policy that will say never again. 855-839-1210. Be right back.
Join Team Kale & Company once again this year for the Bend to Shore Bike Tour on Sunday, July 21st. From Philly to Atlantic City, you can do the ride or just donate to support the cause. Visit bendtoshore.org. That's shore.org. Let's show everyone how WPHT and Odyssey supports law enforcement. Bend to Shore is organized by Families Behind the Badge Children's Foundation. FBBCF provides financial relief for the families of fallen and injured first responders and supports the Police Youth Alliance, which fosters a positive relationship between police and youth. Sponsored by Gelman Law. Need a criminal defense attorney or personal injury? Visit GelmanLawFirm.com.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS has raised the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes in recent years. This hits hard if you're behind on your taxes. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. If you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hi, everyone. Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12-month same as cash financing, though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. The summer is heating up, and so are the savings at United Tire and Service. They take care of all makes and models, and right now you'll get the best pricing for your summer road trips on all their major tire brands. If your AC isn't cutting it, they can help there too. From new tires to state inspections, their highly skilled technicians handle it all. Now through June 30th, get the best tire pricing anywhere. Plus, get all the manufacturer rebates. Find the location nearest you at UnitedTire.com. UnitedTire.com. Remember, don't drive alone. Drive United.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Using credit cards could soon become a hassle in Pennsylvania. Some in the legislature are considering a multi-million-dollar giveaway to corporate megastores and may force you to pay for parts of your purchase in cash, while small businesses will have to manage an accounting nightmare. This mandate could also expose information about the private purchases you make. Prevent credit card chaos at guardyourcard.com/Pennsylvania. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Hey, Clementon. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
So Mayor Sherelle Parker announcing this plan for full-year schools. It's a pilot program in Philadelphia, but this is her initiative that I've talked a lot about over the years. I support it. I'll be curious. I don't think Dom fully supports it, but I don't know. Everybody I talk to loves this idea, especially as long as it allows the flexibility. So you don't have to go to summer school. My understanding is, in fact, you can opt out or opt in. You can get extra credits. So to me, this is the answer. I think this is fabulous. And 25 of these schools are going to offer year-round instruction. It's part of her pilot program. Mastery Charter School, Pickett Campus is one of those schools. And the mayor says year-round school will close the enrichment gap and help students succeed. So that one's going on. Now, for me, if you combine this with the with the vouchers, I should say, then what I would love to see, and the teachers union leadership would hate this, but what I would love to see is that even if you can get partial vouchers, could you not apply them to private schools who offer summer schools? And so is it Philadelphia? Is it a private school? Because now you're choosing, let's say you're in high school and you're in a school that does not offer some of those AP classes. And that's a real key here. So if you have a high school student in the city of Philadelphia, a lot of the schools, and even middle schools, let's say, they don't offer a situation where you can get those those AP classes. And you're saying, Dawn, why does that matter? Well, it matters because if you start in some junior high schools and the private schools, and especially the high schools, you're actually taking college courses, right? So now you're getting, your colleges will give you credit for that. That saves you money moving forward. Also, when you bounce up and you take the AP course and now you get an A in it, that's why you see kids with a 4.4 GPA or a 4.3, and you say, how are they getting a 4.3 GPA? Because the AP courses help you supersize your GPA. So now, if you want to talk about equity or equality, all of this and that, this is why poorer kids in public schools have such a disadvantage against richer kids in the suburbs who might even be going to a public school in the burbs, but they're getting AP classes. Those AP classes, if they're not offered here in Philadelphia, then you should be allowed to go to that school over there and take that AP class. Maybe it's in summer school, maybe it's the fall semester, whatever. I just think that this expands the idea to me of school choice. And there's not a transportation issue because what the heck, in Philadelphia, we don't get transportation. You're taking public transit anyway. So what does it matter? See what I'm saying? I love it. It's going to revolutionize the way we think about school, and I think that's a good thing, quite frankly. So we're talking about it, 855-839-1210. What's your idea? Let's just fix everything because you're smart. We're smarter. You know what? We're smarter than all the – I swear, if we had a think tank, if we just did like, you know, how when you think about Wikipedia and they do all this group sourcing for information and everybody was shocked that it actually works pretty well, except for the fact that it has a liberal bias, which has been proved through recent studies. But just imagine if we did this, where we just all said, we're going to solve this. We're going to come together as a group and we're going to solve all these problems. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, what am I saying? I'm so silly. We can already do that. You know when? November 5th. Let's just solve the problem and vote for Donald J. Trump. Beep. Yeah, that would solve it. 855-839-1210. There's our group sourcing that we can go to. We have to talk more about election integrity. I'm hearing from more and more of you about your disbelief in fair, transparent elections. And this is a real question that you know is going to be put before Donald J. Trump tonight. He's going to have to answer this. I think the answer is that too many Americans believe that for a multitude of reasons, our system is not as fair and as transparent as it could be. How do we fix it? The quick fix, because we're 5 months ahead, the quick fix here is to say, all right, we do want to address this in the future. But you know what? Let's just say in November, everybody should have to bring forth proof of U.S. citizenship. That's the quick fix. If we said nationwide, everybody's got to show your U.S. citizenship, that you have the right to vote, and also, by the way, that would show your age. So we know because there's a suspicion that they want younger people to vote, like in New Jersey. If we did that, that would just put the kibosh on it, would it not? I know I'm using the word kibosh a lot lately. But I really love that idea to say, let's all agree that you must show proof that you are indeed a United States legal citizen. Does that end it for you? Would you believe then, at least for this November, that it's fair, it's transparent? If we have that proof, then we know that no matter what the result is, you will believe the result of this upcoming election. Would that do it for you? Or what would, if not, the proof of U.S. citizenship? Now, I keep having these debates. This keeps coming up more and more and more, so I want to talk about it moving forward. I'm going to take your calls, 855-839-1210. Don't go anywhere. I want to tell you about an important event that's happening this evening, and I hope that you can make it. This is the Dawn Show. I'm Dawn Stensland, and you know what I have to talk about too? When are you hitting the road for the July 4th holiday weekend? My kids are like, are we going to the shore? When are we going to the shore? Summer is upon us. There is no time like the present to get back out on the roads. My friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles, they're going to help you find that luxury vehicle that you've been eyeing. Piazza, they have thousands of new and certified pre-owned vehicles from some of the most beautiful, powerful vehicles on the roadway right now. So Mercedes-Benz, Land Rover, Jaguar, Maserati, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, and more. You got to visit them. Just check it out. Even if you just want a window shop, just go to PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com, Piazza, PiazzaPremiumAutomobiles.com. You can stop by one of their many Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware dealers. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
A drier air mass filters into the Delaware Valley today. That means lower humidity. Still on the hot side with increasing sunshine with a high 88. Tonight, mostly clear and comfortable, low 65, and very pleasant on Friday, mostly sunny with a high 82.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Have you questioned your doctor about symptoms like low energy, digestive issues, brain fog, joint pain, just not feeling right, just something is off, and you're only left settling for unanswered questions, or worse, being told it's just because you're getting older? You don't have to settle for unanswered questions any longer. With Younger Me MD's exclusive VIP membership program, aging doesn't have to make you feel older. Their proven 3-step process and functional medicine approach helps you discover the underlying causes of your issues. As a member, you get access to high-level personalized treatment plans, as well as discounts on treatments and supplements. If you're ready to live the life you deserve, it's time to learn about Younger Me MD's VIP membership program. Call 445-266-4024. 445-266-4024. That's 445-266-4024. And schedule your consultation with Younger Me MD.
Are you looking for a place to call home? Say hello to hassle-free home loans with American Heritage Credit Union. Our team will guide you through every step from pre-approval to closing. And with the MyCU Home Connection program through American Heritage, you can unlock exclusive benefits, including a $500 lender credit, cash rewards, and discount when you buy or sell a home. Visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/homeconnection to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Not a member? Join today. NMLS 433838.
Need new furniture? You need Bucks County Estate Traders 4th of July sale. This Saturday through July 6th, everything store-wide is 20% off. Select patio and garden furniture 75% off. High-end, name brand and vintage, mid-century, antique, European, and American furniture. More than 10,000 items in stock. Bucks County Estate Traders has it all. Save big June 29th through July 6th at their showroom in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
this initiative serves as a way to help to close the opportunity gap and to make sure Philadelphia students have enrichment opportunities and extended learning time to help prevent what State Senator Vincent Hughes calls the summer slide, and to keep our students succeeding academically. How do you know this is important, Mayor? I'm a working mother, and I've heard from many other working mothers and fathers about how grateful they are and how grateful they would be if their children had access to extended day programs. It is also a necessity as we keep our young people engaged, and this, Vanessa, is where you come to mind. We keep them safe and we keep them engaged in productive activities and things to do when the traditional school day ends. This is a program whose time has yet to come. I want you to know, Philadelphia, I would love to tell you that we were first in what we are trying to do, but that's not true. Across the country, cities like New York, like Boston, like Los Angeles, they have demonstrated that extended day and year programs are popular with families and help students stay on track academically, allowing them to develop new interests, learn new skills, and find new passions.
And so this is Mayor Sherelle Parker making this major announcement, much to the chagrin of some who oppose her. And in particular, we've heard teachers union officials opposing this. She's going to get her way. I think it will be hugely popular. And I think it's fantastic also for Philadelphia. Somebody who I know can comment on this as well as kind of preview his thoughts. My better half, Larry Menti, joins us. And by the way, I want to mention Kathy Barnett as I bring in my hubby, Larry. Kathy Barnett this evening, major announcement, Trump Force 47. She has the Trump Force 47 office grand opening. This is Penland Bluebell Pike, and it's Suite 240 in Bluebell, Pennsylvania. The doors open at 5 tonight, and then the event begins at 6 o'clock. So I'm going to try to be there, which leads me to my husband because I might need some backup in driving, our youngest son around. But Kathy Barnett, huge event this evening in the office that she's opening, Trump Force 47. Doors open at 5 p.m. The event start is 6 p.m. And this is Penland Bluebell Pike, Suite 240 in Bluebell, Pennsylvania. So I'll tweet that out for you so you have the info. But Larry Menti, thank you for calling in. How are you today, my hubby? Larry Bear?
Doing well, driving home, listening to you. You're doing great.
Thank you. So tell me, first of all, I know you want to talk about the big debate tonight, but Sherelle Parker, our mayor, making this big announcement and talking about the fact that this kind of year-round school, which I believe 5 charter schools are going to take part in, hugely popular, she says, in cities across America like New York City, hugely popular with parents and students. What do you think of this?
Oh, no, I think it's great. I think it's tremendous. I think there's going to be a lot of pushback against it, but it's just a wonderful, wonderful idea, and I'm so glad she's doing it. She has been so impressive so far, and so people have to stop for a second and drop the labels. There's no such thing as a viable Republican in Philadelphia anymore. So just forget that she's not Republican.
Mm-hmm.
She's a very moderate, almost conservative Democrat. So just be happy with what you got. She's doing all the right things.
Amen. So, and she says, I'm a mom. I get it. And I love the way she does not back down. I love that. And that's what we need. So
I know. I tell you what, I was proud when she sent the police in riot gear into Penn University.
Yeah.
I work up in New York now, and we had that debacle at Columbia. And to see that happen, and then to compare that to L.A. and New York, all Philadelphians should be proud that we handled that a lot differently. You didn't hear a peep out of Penn after that.
Yeah, and actually Commissioner Bethel's going to join Dom Giordano upcoming on the Dom Show, so I know that he'll be asking all of these questions. I don't know if you had heard about this, Larry, as far as this Albany, New York case, yet another case that sounds all too familiar. A 15-year-old girl is grabbed by a guy who who a guy is accused and charged, who's now identified as this asylum seeker from Turkey who is in custody. He crossed over on the California border, of course, was in custody at one point.
Go ahead.
And is accused of raping another kid. I mean, here we go again. The girl survived, thank God, but we hear the same pattern over and over. And go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. I keep cutting out because I'm driving. But look, you got the 12-year-old raped in Queens. You have a 13-year-old that is raped viciously and then thrown into a creek in Houston. You have a young mother killed in Maryland. You have Lake and Riley. And these are just a few of them. 2 cops shot in New York. Now this story in Albany, and then I'm so tired of hearing from people, the migrant population, they commit less crimes. They used to when they were vetted. Not anymore. Not anymore. Now it's higher.
And to your point, I think this is part of the reason that you see communities where these bad guys are coming and hiding in their community, which is traditionally a lower crime community. So now they're on the front lines of becoming victims, but also they want to avoid being labeled with the bad guys coming in, right?
Yeah, I know. And when Republicans were saying every town's a border town, I thought that was political. I really did. And I thought to myself, they're trying to make this a bigger issue, a national issue, even though it's only affecting really Texas and Arizona. No, they were right. I was wrong. They are absolutely right. This is everywhere now because there's so many. There's 11 million. I'm sure that's going to come up tonight. I mean, this is one of Donald Trump's strengths. If CNN asks, maybe they'll skip that. Maybe they'll just focus on January 6th.
Yeah, January 6th, the abortion issue. But as far as this issue, I think the Albany, New York issue and also the issue of the little girl whose funeral is today, Jocelyn Nungary, that the issue of were they hiding anything? In Albany, those Democrats are being accused of a cover-up, that they knew this was a quote-unquote illegal person who was in their community and that they were not releasing that information. And the question is, and I will tell you, I know this in Philadelphia, they never tell us until finally it comes out in court, but they never initially will tell us whether or not somebody is a U.S. citizen or whether they're here illegally.
Yeah, no. I mean, in every one of these cases, they've been stopped at the border. They weren't properly vetted, or they were vetted and they were given a device so they could keep track of them. Whatever happened to not letting them come in?
Yeah.
It is unbelievable that they know people are a danger and they still let them in. And if you talk to the Border Patrol, they will tell you, I just talked to a former Border Patrol agent a couple of weeks ago, they will tell you that, they're told to. They have to let them in because they don't have the time to properly vet because they have so many coming across. And it's still happening. That what I'm talking about right now is still happening. Don't fall for this bull about now the border is secure because of Biden's executive order. That's malarkey, as he would say.
So it looks like, as far as the Supreme Court and all these SCOTUS rulings, coming down, it looks like the Supreme Court is the so-called leaked, the mistake, that Idaho abortion ruling. Yeah. It looks like now they have come through with it, so we know that Idaho hospitals will provide the emergency life-saving abortions. I know a lot of advocates have said, this case was political from the beginning because, of course, doctors can save a patient's life, and if they have to do everything they can, that this is. But is this good for Trump? That this has come out with regards to the Idaho hospital's emergency moves to save mothers' lives?
I don't know. He's not running for governor of Idaho. I mean, it's a state issue. It's not a federal issue anymore. And the fact that the Democrats want to try to federalize this, where the Supreme Court, I get to the point where I think, did anybody read the Dobbs decision? They clearly said this isn't a federal issue. So what's the president going to do? It'll just be overturned. What's Congress going to do? It's just going to be overturned. It's a state issue. So Trump's been handling this really, really well in articulating that. And everybody has to push back against that because that's how desperate they are nationally right now that they're trying to federalize something that the Supreme Court has already said you can't be federalized.
Right. In this case, though, these doctors in Idaho, this is an example where they're pushing the issue. They're claiming the law was not clear on when they can actually provide an emergency procedure, such as, an abortion that would, let's say they airlift a pregnant lady to other states, they're saying, for emergency care. Do you buy that? Is all of this, as I say, Larry, we're always getting played. To me, the whole thing felt political, and now does it fall flat and benefit Republicans because they're saying, basically, well, of course you can provide the emergency.
Yeah, I don't look. If it was political, it really doesn't matter. I mean, this was a common sense ruling, and I'm glad that 3 conservative judges were part. How many? Actually, I didn't see the number on that. What was it? Was it 6-3 again?
6-3.
Yeah. So 3 conservative judges said, yes, it just makes sense. If you have to save the life of the mother, you got to do something. So I think most people, even that are pro-life like me, are going to say, yeah, that makes sense. There's always going to be some exceptions, and that certainly is one. Right. My God, could you imagine if some woman died because she went to the hospital and they couldn't remove the baby? I mean, that's you can try to save the baby, but if they can't both exist and there's an emergency, the doctor has to make a choice immediately. So.
Yeah, I will say that you and I could probably cite this in the news. I've heard of many more cases where the mom says, no, save the baby.
Yeah.
I've heard of,
and that should be her. That's a great point, Dawn. And that should be her choice.
Yes.
That should be her choice.
I mean, gives me just like chill bumps when I think about it. Hey, can you stay there while we take a call? Because we have Gina calling in from Claymont, Delaware. So can Larry hang tight? Can we take Gina? Because I think she has a question for one of us. Hey, Gina.
Hi, Dawn. Nice to talk to you. I just had a comment regarding Mayor Parker, Sherelle Parker. I know you guys were just kind of, praising her a little bit. But I have to say, I don't see a whole lot of difference. Like with shootings, I don't see difference in the trash in the city. She's also a heavy Biden supporter. I know that. And Trump basher. And I don't like that about her.
I agree. I mean, it's what's the movie that I love? This Is As Good As It Gets.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
So I'm trying to be positive. I think she has some great ideas. But you're right. I mean, she has all the talking points. And even if she was against some of their policies, she's not going to say it because she wants the money. She wants those, she knows that Biden and other Democrats need Philadelphia and they need Pennsylvania. And so, she's going to say what she needs to say to get the cash and get as much as possible. But, your point's well taken. If we think about what it really means to have accountability, but realistically, I guess that's where I am and I think my husband too, I can speak for him. But, I just think.
Yeah, I also don't know, have she ever said anything about Philadelphia being a sanctuary city still? Like, I don't remember hearing anything.
That's true.
Yeah, about that.
That's true, Gina.
Right.
Yeah, Gina has great points. And I guess sometimes I assume that that I just kind of feel like more and more I feel, thank God it wasn't Helen Kim. I mean, I swear to God, I would have lost my mind. That would have been a disaster. So to me, this was, like I say, as good as it gets for Philadelphia. And the last one, Jim Kenney, I mean, who Larry and I covered for many years. And you thought that he was like a normal guy and he grew up here in South Philadelphia. And you thought, well, he loves his, he talks about his daughter all the time. And boy, just a disappointment as somebody who, all I remember about him was, the Prosecco news conference. I mean, it was so lame. And I just felt at the end, my God, he care? Is something wrong with him? Maybe he's depressed. It just was such a disappointment. I think we got Larry back. We have to take a break. We'll get back to Larry because I think we lost him for a second. But Gina, thank you for your call, and I do appreciate your overall perspective. Sure, I agree. But I guess we have to take a win when we can get it. Be right back.
Tonight, the debate, Biden and Trump. And you can hear it here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
To surrender to bullies, to bow down to dictators is simply unthinkable. Within moments of taking the oath of office, I will seal the border, stop the invasion, and send Joe Biden's illegal aliens back home.
Then Walter Sterling will be live immediately following the debate to take your reaction live. The CNN presidential debate tonight at 9 on CNN and simulcast here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7. And we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. If you have a fear of the dentist, you're not alone. My friend and board-certified prosthodontist, Dr. Robert Bentz, is known for helping you overcome your fear and anxiety. Patients have come to Dr. Bentz from all over Pennsylvania, South Jersey, some even farther from New York, Florida, even Washington State. One of our listeners have been putting off much-needed dental work, get this, for 8 years due to fear and anxiety. After hearing me talk about how great Dr. Bentz was with fearful patients, she reached out, made an appointment, traveling from Ocean City, New Jersey to East Norriton just for Dr. Bentz. She still comes back for routine care. That's how good Dr. Bentz and his entire staff are. They go out of their way to help your fear and anxiety. Now's the time to call Dr. Robert Bentz, the Bentz Dental Group. See the Bentz difference. Make that appointment today. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com or call 610-272-6949, 610-272-6949.
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Cannella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback, plumbers protect the health of the nation. And Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumbers690.org.
Free speech lives here, on the air, and on the Odyssey app. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
Final few minutes. Larry Menti is back. Larry, just your thoughts as you look forward to this evening. We, of course, will be watching the debate.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you're going to know a lot right from the beginning when they walk out. If Biden comes out like shuffling like he normally does, it's going to be a bad night for Joe Biden. But if he comes out like hopped up like AOC at a Jamal Bowman rally, and he's really on B12 and whatever Hunter may have gave him, then well, it's still going to be a awful debate for him, but it's going to be a lot more entertaining. It's amazing to me that everybody is focused on Joe Biden. Nobody's focused on Donald Trump right now. They just want to see if Joe Biden is up to the task. And you know who the people are that the most interested in that are Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
They're watching very closely to see if he is up to the task. If he has the slightest stumble, if he pauses, if he mixes up words, there's going to be new concerns and real concerns and possibly a talk of a replacement.
This is true. Did you see that Cape May is among the latest Jersey Shore towns that's going to go with digital beach tags? So, when they hunt you down on the beach and they say, oh, you got to pay for it. You go, oh, sorry, I have no cash. They're going to say, well, no problem, because you can do it with your mobile phone. You can pay by your phone.
Are the digital beach tags deactivated when you go in the water? That's an important question.
It is. Well, don't take your phone in the water, like somebody has done before in the past. I gotta run, Larry. Thank you.
See you later.
Drive home safely, honey bunny. Love you. Yeah, Cape May. This week they unveiled this new digital beach tag service, and it's where you can just pay by your phone. I don't know. We all debate the beach tags. I think that there's so much cleanup, and people are such slobs. And I know even in Wildwood, they've even talked about doing this, but people are such slobs, and you got to just pay for all the cleanup that happens. And if you go, we always love to see the sunrise. So if you go into the sunrise, you see all the apparatus up and down the beach, and they're plowing and, trying to get all the trash all cleaned up. It takes a lot of money to do that cleanup. So people are slobs. Somebody's got to pay for it. So I'm supportive of the beach tag system. I think it's fabulous. Now they got to pay for all the extra policing because of all the crazy, the teenagers and the kids with the unaccountability that they have to deal with. So that's the latest one for sure. But I know Dom Giordano has a jam-packed show today because tonight, Debate Watch. It's the big one. How many viewers do you think? We had a bet this morning. I know I'm already going to lose, Dom, as we think about who's going to watch. It's interesting to me that CNN, Dom, is allowing everybody to just stream their programming. So to me, the debate is CNN's to lose.
Well, I think 80 million will be somehow or another. They'll spin that out there, which is a good number. And
that was my number this morning.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. So peptides is the word. They inject you with peptides. It's not just Adderall. And Botox also, so you don't sweat. My God, it's going to be a pincushion tonight.
I said that with peptides.
Peptides.
Peptides. It's the new thing.
It's a new.
It's like infusion therapy. We hear Dr. Molly Fantasia.
Yes.
Peptides.
That's who we should get on to talk about this tomorrow. And Dawn, we have the new police commissioner, coming in studio today, first time at 1 o'clock, and we'll take a few calls with him. Kensington, the focus, but a bunch of other stuff, too.
Look forward to it. An awesome Dom show just ahead.
Topricin Pain Relief Cream can help you live a pain-free life. If you suffer aches and pains of any kind, including arthritis, back, neck, shoulder, and joint pain, please try patented Topricin Pain Relief Cream. Topricin is made from good things like arnica, echinacea, and calendula.